Good morning, English students. It's great to see you today. So I am going to review what we talked about in class for Wednesday, August 12th. Let's get started. So before we begin, we went through and talked about those who did their homework. If you logged into Burlington and practiced Burlington by yourself, we gave you some applause. So good job for our students that did that. We have questions of the day that we wrote in the chat. Our question today was, what is your favorite thing to do in your house? Do you like to clean? Do you like to cook? Do you like to exercise? Do you like to read? Do you like to watch TV? Think about what you like to do. And we discussed that together. Next, I introduced a new YouTube channel for you to help practice your YouTube listening skills. This is more for those who are intermediate if you are in the blue or green group, but you can watch it if you're in any group. It's called Tasty English. Tasty English is a YouTube channel that talks about idioms in English. This episode we watched, the very first one, if you go to the channel and go all the way to the oldest one at the bottom, is what have you been up to lately? What does that mean? What have you been up to means what activities are you doing a lot recently? We went through our expectations, our calendar. Remember, 3 hours of homework every week to practice your English so it will get better. Log into Burlington and watch these YouTube videos and do your homework to succeed. Then we broke up into our groups. So I'm going to show you what the different groups look like. First, we'll talk about the beginners. The beginners talked about pronouns and the verb be. So pause the video if you need to and write down these pronouns. I, he, she, it, you, we, they. These are the subject pronouns in English. When you're talking about yourself, when you're talking about someone else, or you're talking about a group of people or an object, these are the pronouns you use. I is yo, he is él, she is ella, it is lo or la, you, tú, we, nosotros, and they, ellos, ellas. Good. Log into Burlington and do this yourself. Now, we talked about simple present. Present tense means what is happening right now, ahora. Okay, what is happening now? And we're doing the verb be in the present tense. Am is for first person or the I pronoun, I am. The contraction for I am is I'm. You are. Are is the second person form of be. I am, you are. And as a contraction, you are becomes your. In English, we make contractions. We like to shorten our words. He, she, and it, we use is. He is, he's. She is, she's. It is, its. And then we use are again for we, you plural, or they. So any of the plural, first person, second person, third person. If you're talking about a group of people, you're going to use the word are. We are, we're. You are, your. They are, their. Then they did some practice, making sure that they could label if it's a he or she. He is a man, she is a woman. Okay. They can be non-binary singular person or plural group of people. and they did a lot of practice. So log on to Burlington, and there's a ton of things that you can do. You can pause these, take some notes, and check your answers. Okay, now we're going to go to what my group did, the intermediate group. So remember, if you log into Burlington, if you're in the red or yellow group, you're going to go to low beginners right here. Burlington Core, you're going to go to Burlington, Courses, Burlington Core, and low beginners. If you're in my group, the blue or green group, you're going to go to Burlington English, Courses, Burlington Core, and low intermediate. The lesson we talked about today was under Personal Information Lesson 2, Review of the Simple Present and Present Continuous. This man is speaking in the simple present. The woman answers first in the simple present and then in the present continuous. Let's look at what they say. Where do you work? I work part-time in a store, but I am looking for a full-time job now. What do you notice is the difference between the simple present and the present continuous? Use the verb tense, or use the verb be in different tenses, and then you use the word with ing at the end. We practice reading and identifying the difference between simple present and present continuous and answering some comprehension questions. Then we took some notes about when is the right time to use simple present or present continuous. Simple present you're going to use whenever you're talking about habits or routines. Those two words mean things you do a lot, things you do often, you usually do. I brush my teeth. I drive to the store. I work at school. Those are things I usually do, not all the time and not right now, but these are things I usually do. And about facts, things that are just true. It rains a lot in the city, Seattle. Okay, because that is a fact. Okay. Here's some examples of how to do it positive. That means when you're saying something is yes, something is true, affirmative. Negative, when something is not true, something that doesn't happen, the answer is no. And then there it is in the question and answer form. And then where you put the verbs, the do and does, versus the whatever verb you're using. Put the pronoun in the middle when you're asking questions. That's the one tricky thing in English, is a lot of times we move around our words when it's a question form versus when it's a statement. So present continuous, on the other hand, you're going to use to talk about actions that are happening right now. A lot of times in your practice, you will see when you do fill in the blank, if it says right now, at the moment, now, then you're going to know that it's present continuous. If someone is just speaking to you and they say, I am going to the store, that's something they're doing right now. So they might not say the word now, but you will know that present continuous means that is something that's currently happening. So remember, we're going to use the verb be and its different forms, and we're going to add ing to the end of our main verb. Okay, so we practiced that, and I'm going to send you another video with some more practice on these for your homework. Okay, let's go back to our slide, and I'll show you what we did to finish up class. Okay. We did a learning check. We're going to do this at the end of every class now. I'm going to ask you, what did you learn today? ¿Qué aprendiste hoy? And I'm going to ask you to write it in the chat, escribe en inglés, and I will give you the beginning of the sentence, how I model what I want you to write. today in class I learned, and then tell me one thing that you learned. This allows you to take time to think and reflect on what you learned that day so that it kind of stays in your mind longer and cements in your memory. Lastly, I reminded everyone to do their homework. Okay, we have some students who are doing a very good job logging into Burlington, sending pictures of the practice they do when they write things down and answer questions or do assignments that I put on videos for YouTube. I want everyone to do this because I really want you to keep improving your English and achieving your goals. Okay, so for this week, your homework before Monday is to try to do 2 hours on Burlington. Remember, log into Burlington English, go to courses. I showed you early in this video how to get to your assignment. You're going to do whatever we talked about in this lesson. You can move ahead if you want to. YouTube, I'm going to give you specific help with things that I've noticed in class that you still need to work on. Okay, so that is all that we did on Wednesday. But make sure that you come to class so you get to interact with other students, you get the conversation, the back and forth, the reading and listening and writing practice that you need. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye, students.